So imagine this. You are talking to a new prospect about potentially working together. You get all excited about the possibilities of landing a new client, but they end the call by saying something like, "This is not the right fit for us," or "We'll call you later," but they never do. If you are a freelancer, you've probably experienced this before. I know I have, many times. In this video, I want to talk to you about how I was able to start bringing in clients of $10,000 and more as a freelance animator. So most of us hate selling. We started doing our craft, be it animation or design, web design, maybe writing, not because we liked selling, but because we actually like to do the thing itself. And the thought of selling to someone fills us with a little bit of dread. We start every conversation with sweaty palms and we are not sure how it's gonna go. We know that we have to sell projects in order to make ends meet, but we are not sure how to go about it and how to improve it. From talking to my freelancer friends, I know that many of them feel the same way. And I know I did too. What helped me improve my sales calls is having a very clear structure to go through each and every one of them. It is important to note here that I'm not talking about a script. Each sales call is unique, and we have to treat it as such. But having a clear structure, a clear roadmap to go through each and every sales call helps tremendously. My sales call structure consists of 7 parts, so let's go each and every one of them to see what it's all about. So the first part is the introduction. When you first get on the phone with the client, it's important to establish some personal connection. Don't jump straight into business. Start with some polite and easy chit-chat. Ask about their weekend or say a few words about the trip that you recently came back from. It is important not to launch straight into business. You are still dealing with people, and establishing a personal connection, showing them that it will be fun working with you, is very important. So after you've completed the introduction, which usually won't take more than 2 minutes, you can start talking about the project at hand. This second phase I call the brain dump. And the reason I call it the brain dump is basically because they are going to dump all of the information they have in their brain about their project right onto you. This section can be anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes depending on how much information they have available. I always have to remind myself to stay engaged in this part of the conversation because it is very easy to wander off because the client will do most of the talking. So to convey to the client that we are actually listening to them, if we are on a video call, we'll be taking notes and saying things like, I get it, stuff like that. It sounds simple, I know, but it really helps the other side understand and feel that you're actually with them. If the client gets stuck in their explanation, help them move along by repeating the last couple of words which they just said. For example, they got distracted by someone at the office, they get back to the conversation and they're like, "Where was I?" And you'll just tell them, "So you were telling me about this conference in Berlin which you wanted to create a video for?" And they'll say something like, "Oh yeah, right, thank you for reminding me," and they'll move right along. In this part of the conversation, take notes on the important things that they are saying and just let them speak their mind. Hey, I have a little favor to ask. If you find this information useful in any way, please like this video because it helps the algorithm show it to more people. And right back to the video. So after they are done with their brain dump, it's your turn to speak now. And what you want to do at this part is reflect back to them what you just heard them say. So you will start this section, which I call the reflection and clarification section, by saying something like, "Thank you for sharing all of that information with me. Will it be okay if I repeat what I just heard you say to make sure that I understood everything and that I don't have any gaps?" They'll be more than happy to say yes, of course. At this point, you'll just start going over the notes and saying back to them what you just heard them say in their own language. Note that up until now, we didn't try to sell them anything at all. We are just listening to them and reflecting back to them what they said to us. And by doing that, we are establishing that we actually understand what they are talking about. They will start getting the feeling and the understanding that they are actually talking to a professional without you trying to sell yourself. See the magic in it? If you've missed anything of importance in your reflection, they will point it out. And if they forgot to mention something, now will be a good time for them to say, yeah, I forgot to say this and that. And you'll be able to add it to your notes. So this reflection and clarification part is very important. I know that when I was hiring freelancers, I would always ask them to clarify whether they understood what I asked them and to repeat it back to me. And oftentimes we would uncover some gap in the understanding, and we were able to amend it straight away. After you are done with this section, which will usually take up to 3 to 4 minutes, you can move to the About Us section. By this point, you've been talking to the client anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, and they'll probably like to hear a little bit about your background if they don't know you. So you can start by telling them a little bit about your background, what projects you've done, and any relevant information, knowledge, and skills that you have that are relevant for this specific project which you are talking about. You can also mention clients you've worked with, or clients that they may know, or clients who are in their field or industry. This is the only section where I actually try to sell myself, because here I'm actually saying things that will make me look more impressive. Yeah, so that's the only section where I actually try to do that. After this brief section comes section number 5, which is the discussion of implementation. The client will say, so this all sounds very nice, but how are you actually going to implement all of this for our project? And by this point you'll be telling them, okay, so this part of the project will do like this, and that part of the project will do like that. So you'll start explaining to them and bringing them into your world of how things are done technically and how you're going to go about creating the project that they're looking for. So after you're done explaining how you're going to go about creating this project, they are usually going to ask about the price, and that's where most of the objections are going to come up. So you'll have to deal with them one by one. This video won't cover how to handle those objections, because if it did, it would just be a very long video, but I might do another one about this in the future. So after you are done handling with the objections, you are coming to a close for this sales call. It's important not to end straight away and to set the next steps. So to move forward, let's schedule another call for 2 days from now. In those 2 days, I'll send you a couple of references, and you'll also send me the projects that you've done in the past or references that you found online. It's very important to end the call with a clear call to action. If you can actually schedule the next call, it's very, very good to do that on the call itself. Or if you are ready to move to the proposal stage, you can also do that as well by saying something like, okay, so at the end of this call, I will send you the proposal for the project as we discussed. Always remember to follow up with the client, because sometimes they tell you that they will send you something and they don't, because they get busy, they forget, and we don't feel very comfortable to ping them and to send them another text message, fearing that we can be annoying. So please don't fear that, because clients actually do get busy and we have to remind them, we have to follow up. Now, don't send them a couple of messages each and every day, but if you didn't hear from them after a couple of days, don't hesitate to send them a message. Hey, what's up? Are you willing to move forward with the project? Did you give any consideration to the proposal that I sent you? Are you going to send me the references which we spoke of, or did you look at the references which I sent you? Stuff like that. Whatever you ended the conversation on, just follow up with that. I think that it is a very good idea to record your sales calls. I know that listening to them at first can be a little bit cringy, at least it was for me, but from hearing yourself talk through those sales calls, you'll be able to improve and to find your sticking points and to actually work around them and make them better, so you can improve for your next sales calls. That's it, guys. That's my 7-step structure for sales calls and how I was able to stop dreading them and actually start closing clients, knowing that when I go into a sales call, I know how it will look like and what points I will need to hit. If this video was useful to you in any way, please comment down below which tip you liked the most, like this video if you didn't already, and consider subscribing, because this channel is going to be filled with many more useful videos. Take care.